Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next ranking of every live action Disney remake. We're continuing our ranking. Here we go. Coming in at number 15 is Dumbo, the elephant, not you. Um, okay, so yeah, Dumbo is next on our list. This is another movie where I really didn't even, I don't think I've ever seen the original Dumbo movie completely. I have probably seen like little small pieces here that I probably should have watched the animated versions of these movies first. Um, well, most of them I've seen, some I haven't. Some of these live action remakes I didn't even see. This was my first time watching some of them. This was one of them. So going on with Dumbo. Um, a lot of people were wondering, okay, how are they gonna do this? Because in the original animated version of Dumbo, like Peter Pan before it, there's a lot of I guess you can say sensitive racial stereotypes stuff, I guess you could say in the original one, which is not really good. Like I said before, back then Disney was on a whole different level back then. They probably didn't really give a shit. But I don't know. I wasn't around back then. I'm not that old, so I have no idea what the hell was going on in the animators room when they made these movies back then. So yeah. They also popped. A lot of people were wondering, okay, the original Dumbo was probably a little over an hour long. So how are you gonna turn that into a feature film? Taking out everything that was racial in that film and making it into a fully fledged live action movie. They managed to somehow. Now, this movie is directed by one of my top five favorite movie directors, and that being Tim Burton. So, if you know Tim Burton movies, you probably know how type of movie this was going to be. This is basically a darker version of The Greatest Showman. Yeah, and this just the visuals in this film, which I did like. I did like the visuals. I'm a big fan. Two things of I'm a fan of when it comes to movies is the visuals and the music score. Um, the visuals in this match are actually, I mean, sorry, movie were actually pretty good. Especially, I did like the pink elephant sequence. It's a lot different, of course, because they're never. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna have a baby elephant get drunk like they did in the animated film. But I think the way they played around in this one was actually pretty cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't think this movie was boring per se. I just think like it was one of the movies that's like, okay, well, it's on, let's watch it. It it was not bad. It's not great. I think at this point we're like in the middle of the pack. I think the worst ones are out of the way. But yeah, this is it was just one of those movies that's just there. I mean, it, okay, it's a movie that could have easily been made into live action, but at the same time, you're like, okay, how are you going to make a realistic baby elephant with giant ears? They did, but it was CGI, and probably some people who aren't a fan of CGI probably won't like the way the elephant looks. But I mean, it's probably better that than using an actual elephant because PETA or whatever it is that watches over animals. Um, so yeah, there was some good performances in this. Particularly, let's go with Michael Keaton, who is actually a one of my favorite actors, and my second favorite Batman after Christian Bale, of course. Michael Keaton's a great actor, and he plays villains pretty good too, as you saw him in Beetlejuice and in Spider-Man. And I think he does pretty good as I guess the crooked ringmaster, I guess you want to call him. But I think the only thing that put me off was, I guess, like his accent he had. It kept coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. I don't know if he was doing that intentionally to show that he wasn't a okay guy or stand up guy. So he might have been intentional. I'm not really too sure. I'll be honest, I probably wasn't paying too much attention to the movie like I probably should have been. But yeah, I think that's a put off for me. He's not probably not the worst villain in these Disney live action remakes. The worst one. We'll get to that one later on. Also, Danny DeVito is a hoot as the ringmaster of Dumbo Circus. He's a hoot as always. He did have some funny scenes in this that he did make me laugh. So this put points up for this movie. It puts it up above the other ones. It did have some moments where I did laugh. I did not laugh out loud, but I did, chuckle here and there. Also, another good performance is from Ava Green, who is one of Tim Burton's frequently collaborating actresses. Eva Green is not one of my personal favorite actresses. She is, I will give her that she is really an amazing actress. Check out the recently released Three Musketeers that came out a couple years ago. You see what I'm talking about? A shout out to my friend in Paris, Audrey Lease, for getting me into Eva Green films and movies, introducing me to some of her work. Like I guess she's a tremendous actress. She's not one of my personal favorites, but she is a really great actress, and she does pretty well in this movie, like she does in some of her other films. Um, Other than that, I mean, the circus was pretty much more one of those retro futuristic looking kind of circuses. If you know what I mean. If you don't, I guess you can Google it to see what the hell I'm talking about. Pretty much like this. Yeah. Again, this is probably going to be another short video because one, I'm tired. A bitch got work in the morning. Two, like I said, I probably should have thought this format out a little bit different, a little bit better. But yeah, Dumbo, like I said, it's more of an in the middle kind of movies. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not really boring. Also, yeah, also Colin Farrell was in there. He's another of my favorite actresses. He does pretty decent for himself. Another one that had slightly modified accent, I guess you want to call it. Um, but yeah, so Dumbo is coming in at number 15. Again, it's probably another short video. I apologize if you're looking for 20, 30-minute long videos about these. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, we will get to a couple more longer videos about these movies. Just give me a couple more films to get to, and when we get there, I promise you there's one coming up in a couple of spots from now that I'm going to really, really talk about because, yeah. And then I'm pretty sure once you get to the upper rankings, there'll be a lot longer and more into detail this. Because again, Dumbo wasn't one of those movies that's I'm like, oh, it's one of my favorite Disney movies. Like I said, I probably have never even seen the whole thing, so it's not one of the first movies that Disney movies that comes to mind when I say, well, let me go watch a Disney movie. I've ridden the Dumbo ride at Disney World plenty of times. It's not the best ride in the world. It's nice for a little, breeze going around or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say about that one. Like again, I'm sorry for the short video again. Um, there's more bigger ones coming, I promise you. So yeah, until then, that's my next film in this Disney ranking. I think maybe the next time I do these ranking videos, I might just do them all at once because some of these films I have more to say than I do others. Some I'm just like, okay, let me just get it out the way and get on to the next one, as you can obviously tell. But yeah, this like I said, this is my first time doing this, so we'll see what works and what doesn't, which is what I said at the beginning. So I might redo this whole format for my next ranking when we get there. Like I said, as you know, as you see, if you follow me on my movie page, you'll see that I have done previous rankings before. I did a ranking of the Jurassic Park franchise, Saw, the American Horror Story television series. I did a complete binge of my favorite actress, Karen Gillan, and ranked all her movies from worst to best. I also did a movie binge of another of my favorite actresses, Anya Taylor-Joy. Watched her complete filmography and ranked them from best to worst. And I actually probably am going to be doing a live video um, on those rankings for those who haven't seen my rankings before. And right now, as of now, I am currently starting tomorrow. I will begin my next binge for another of my favorite actresses, Elizabeth Olsen. I will be watching all her films. If she has any TV shows, I'll be watching them all. And then once I'm done, I'll binge them all. So that'll probably take me, again, maybe another week or a couple weeks or maybe a month or so. It depends on how quick I can get through these films. So yeah, I had to fill it sometime somehow. So shameless plugging. Yeah. So yeah. Until then, I'll catch you on the next video ranking. If you haven't followed me on the socials, feel free to. You can follow me on my movie page, on my wrestling page. The links are in the profile. I'm pretty sure they are. I think so. If not, sorry. Um, yeah. So until then, if you haven't asked me about it, there's a good chance I'm going to talk about it anyway. Thank you.